Followers of Sailing Fair Isle will know we recently lost our dinghy and we had to research what was best to replace it with. Lots of you have asked why we went for the True Kit dinghy and for a little test, so here it is. On an internet trawl of recommended dinghies, I came across a dinghy that seemed to meet all our criteria for a quality dinghy and was intrigued by the publicity picture. Being a cynic, I thought this has got to be fake. There must be some concrete blocks suspended off the other side or something. Turns out there wasn't.
Yo, well done.
So excellent stability, but how does it fit our other criteria? One of the main criteria for your dinghy is what material it's made of. This is made of a German material called Valmex. It's a type of PVC, but don't be fooled by that. People try to sort of stay away from PVCs because in the sun, really hot weather like this, some of them, the plasticizer makes it go sticky, it comes to the surface and then it dries out and cracks. This isn't like that. This is as good in the sun as Hypalon. Hypalon is a very expensive material, and you'll find a lot of top-end dinghies that are made of Hypalon twice the price of this, and actually in some ways not as good, because the thing with Hypalon is you can't thermo weld the seams, you have to glue them. And that's the defining factor. It's the glue that goes before anything else. So, you know, this should last as long or not longer than a Hypalon dinghy, really, because the seams are as good as the material itself. Lightness is one of the really big factors for us, and this dinghy was significantly lighter than anything else we found on the market. So, no halyard needed for lifting on deck, and some well-placed handles made this job surprisingly easy. No excuse then for towing the dinghy again. The True Kit arrives all boxed up, with everything you need inside, including pump, puncher kit, oars and stowage bags. They say it's very quick and simple to put together.
Great to see it actually. Okay. Nice and thin and strong. Yeah, and it says in the instructions, I've already gone through them, that you pump it up, not fully, the pontoons either side. In fact, it says to go to 60% for the pontoons, 80% for the floor before you put the seat on. So we do that. Should be quite quick to do. There's 4 air chambers in this one, so I mean that's good. Some of them only have 2 or 3. Obviously it's safer to have more air chambers in case one does get punctured. Okay, floor goes in next. It's just a matter of tucking it in and blowing it up. It feels good. It's got this sort of diamond non-slip effect on it. So once the floor's roughly in, they say to inflate that to about 80%, and then just jiggle it to make sure it's dead centre. Okay, so that's 3 psi, that's right for that pontoon. One of the really good things I think about this is these valves are just amazing. They seal as it comes off, but you can push it in to let it go. So you don't have to stand there and keep your finger on it like I had to with my old dinghy to deflate it. It'll just deflate while that's in and seal when it's off. So before we blow it up fully, we just put the seat on. It's quite an easy one, this one. It just slides in under the strap on both sides, and then once it's pumped up, it'll be firm in there. So the pontoons are 3 psi, but the floor is 9, which means it's rock hard. It's like the modern stand-up paddle boards. You hardly know that they're blow up. You know, they seem solid, and that's what the floor is here. It's really taken advantage of that, and yeah, really solid. It's going to be great.
We've had the dinghy a couple of weeks now, obviously not long enough to test its durability, but we keep you up to date with that in the episodes. But on its usability, I can certainly say we're impressed. It performs better than our old dinghy for speed as well as stability, so good for an electric engine that doesn't have an excess of power. This new design they describe as a catamaran configuration. The floor is slightly raised above the pontoons for more stability and less drag. You can see here it seems to be riding on a cushion of air, so it's good with our motor, and it rows well. I really like the way the oars lock in and the fact that you can store them properly in position or within the dinghy. There are some other good design features as well. No bung to lose from the self-bailer, lots of good strong D-rings, and some healthy reinforcement for the pontoons when dragging it up the beach. It's not going to be in the same league as the hard-bottom dinghies for that sort of work, but the weight of even the lightest of those designs was far too much for us. We really like the handles all over the pontoons as well, for good carrying and for getting back into the dinghy when swimming, something that Judy struggled with in the old dinghy. We were tempted by True Kit's Discovery model, with its wacky front end that's made especially for entry from the water. But on the whole, I think as a tender we need the extra buoyancy in the bow. And with handles for heaving yourself up, I'm glad we went for the Navigator.
Made it.
One final thing I wanted to check was how well the dinghy folds up after use. We don't like having the dinghy on deck for real offshore sailing, and although our old dinghy came with a bag, I could never fit it back in there. Glad to report this one fits fine. If you've enjoyed this, please subscribe and be sure to watch the episodes of Sailing Fair Isle, where there's lots of other boating information.